Hello, everybody. It's a new year. It's time for some new Toonkind D&D. Woohoo!
Woo!
My name is Whis. Welcome to this FPS Familial Ground. I'm going to be playing Missy and Chifley Forde in various quantities today. And joining me is the delightful and wonderful and talented and just all around good buddy of mine.
Ah! This is what happens when you don't do the Stardust. You get attacked with love.
Savagely brutalized with love, yes.
Hi, I'm Candlestic, and today I'm going to be playing two characters, my lovely little fairy toon, Cassie, and her dad Dorian. And yeah, this will be good. Also in various quantities, and I am not sure.
Yeah, we can never really be sure. And just the heads up, there is going to be some lore and some emotions happening, so we're going to be, low, medium. We're not quite sure where the angst is going to be sitting at, but it'll be around there somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. Given the topics, it will not be light.
Yeah. So, it's after Animus. I imagine it's still relatively cold in the sort of middle Gisnep sort of region. What's Dorian up to? Let's open the scene with him.
Well, he did invite you all round for dinner, so I imagine he's probably in the kitchen right now because nothing helps when you're like, well, for one, when you've got guests, and two, when you might be a little bit nervous or anticipatory about something, to do something with your hands so you don't have to think about it.
Oh, that's such a mood. Yeah, fair enough. Is Cassie already there?
Yeah, I think maybe she is. I think it would be kind of uh nice for her to have gone early, I guess, to help out with setting things up. I think she's pretty excited. So she's probably bouncing around setting up the table and stuff.
Great. Missy is definitely keen as mustard because she likes going to Dorian's place in the happiest place. Because that's really the only time she gets to leave Toontown. Is when she goes to stay over with him. And Chifley he's going too. Like, he's like, okay, cool. I'm not normally invited to Missy going and staying at Dorian's. She's one of her favorite people, so I guess why not? He seemed nice.
It probably helps on the with Missy the fact that I picture Dorian's apartment, or well, home. It's probably not an apartment, probably a small house. But it's just like all of the walls are just covered in like things from everywhere, from around Inkwell and beyond, sort of thing. So she probably would. I imagine she's the sort to be like, oh, what's this? What's that? Tell me, tell me everything.
Oh yeah, the House of Stories, absolutely. Did Dorian's letter say that Cassie was coming as well, or was she not mentioned?
I'm sure it was mentioned that Cassie would also be there. You know, kind of a come round, we can all get together and spend some time together.
Okay, fantastic. Well, that is going to raise Missy's enthusiasm for the endeavor like 100-fold because she loves Cassie so much. So, because Missy and Chifley live in Toontown and Dorian's place is in the capital, in Happiest Place, they'll probably take either the train or a teleportation circle, depending on what day of the week it is, whether or not they had school and work and what have you, and how traffic, and how much Chifley felt like he could endure Missy's boundless enthusiasm crammed into a train. So, actually, in thinking about it, probably the teleportation circle. Like let's be real.
Yeah.
Like, Missy's nearly 6 now. It's just like,
An almost 6-year-old with boundless enthusiasm on a train for like 2 hours or something.
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks. Okay, teleportation circle, zoop, to Happiest Place. And just because it's funny, Chifley has never been to Happiest Place before, so I'm gonna make him roll a survival, see how well he navigates.
Oh.
Like, his survival isn't bad, but, in saying that, he's gonna get a nat 1 or something, so let's just see. That's a 17, total of 22. Okay, he's fine. He has he got the address, pre-prepared his route from the teleportation circle station to there. He's looked at a map. He's all good. Sorted.
I'm also wondering if maybe, like, Missy is taking the charge.
Oh, yeah, well, she's been there quite a bit. Yeah, probably. Because, mind you, she doesn't go from the station to Dorian's place on her own, but she's cluey enough to have been there enough times to go, okay, these are the paths you go down. No, Chifley, it's this way! And that sort of thing.
Yeah, Chifley, like, stops to have a look at something, being like, we don't have that in Toontown, and Missy's just like, this way, come on!
Oh yeah, he stops to look at the castle over in the distance. It's like, cool. Royalty lives there. Shrug. That's what I have done that in a town in a city with a castle. It's like, that's a castle. Real life royalty lives there. Hot damn. But I digress.
That's such a weird concept.
I know, right? Oh dear. But I digress. I think Chifley is in his normal outfit, but Missy, I don't have a picture of her new dress, but she got a new dress for Animus, so she's in her new little dress. And it's got little cap sleeves and little ruffles across the front, and it's a little bit ruffly. Still in her normal shades of green. But she's obviously wearing a coat over it because it's still cold. It's January. Yeah. But yeah, she's wearing her new little dress because she wanted to show it off. Oh,
that's gorgeous. Yes, I know that from both family, friends, and also memories from when I'm that age of the, look at my new dress, you must admire it.
Praise me for my new fashion. So Missy and Chifley are going to make their way over to Dorian's place and ring the doorbell or knock, as appropriate.
I'm not going to roll a perception. I'm pretty sure Cassie has been periodically like keeping an eye on the door just in case, and so I think it sort of probably like slams open as soon as the doorbell is pressed with a, you made it, hi, come in,
Cassie! And Missy's just going to pounce. Hug has to happen.
Yeah, she's gonna do the catch and the twirl sort of around a little bit before putting Missy down with a, you're getting bigger.
I mean, I'm nearly 6, so, I'm growing. And she puts her hands on her hips and puffs out her chest.
Yeah, I remember when you were this big, and she's going to exaggerate.
And Missy's just gonna look at her and is like, yep, fine. And Chifley's just in the background quietly laughing. It's like, we hadn't met when she was that small, but okay. To you. And Chifley's just gonna shake his head. It's good to see you, Cassie.
Me too. And she's gonna give him a hug as well.
Yeah.
I'm glad you could make it. My dad's in the kitchen. There's a, hi-oh, just make yourself at home.
Chifley's not one to shout, so he's not going to shout back, but Missy is. I'm not going to shout into my mic. That seems unkind. But, yeah, Missy's going to shout back a greeting, and she's actually going to shoot off into the kitchen to see if she can help.
Should I make any saves or anything for Dorian?
Look, sure. Do like maybe an int save or a dex save or something is just stop her from making too much of a disaster. Like she's nearly 6, so she's not that small and that inexperienced. So but she doesn't have a lot of that fine motor control. I mean, let me look at her dex.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Okay, so she's gone in and there's just this. I'll clean it up. And sheepishly cleaning up whatever it was that she knocked over.
I'm just imagining like the tackling of the knees and just
Yep.
causing like something to go flying or something like that.
No, she's got the best intentions in the world, and yet,
Uh,
alas.
I think he's not too phased. Just it's alright. We can clean it up together, and then would you like to help?
Yes, please.
And yeah, I think he'll go on like, all right, first thing to do, wash your hands.
Okay. She's gonna go off and do that. And Chifley's just still standing over near the door with Cassie, just sort of shaking his head.
There is a bit of a chuckle being hidden behind Cassie's hands, like a oops.
And the bigger she gets, the more enthusiastic she seems to become.
Yeah, she's it's wonderful to see you both.
Well, we haven't seen each other since your performance.
Yeah, how was your animus?
There's this hesitation, and then he just sort of squares his shoulders a little. Quiet. But there's nothing wrong with a quiet holiday.
I suppose, if that's what you want.
Well, I'm still getting used to having animus away from home.
There's a definitely a look on Cassie's face of the yeah, I know what you mean sort of thing. Though definitely for different reasons.
And Chifley's just sort of still thinking about it, and then he makes this offhand comment of, at least this year, nobody got kidnapped or brainwashed, so improvement.
Okay. The dot. Ah.
Oh, yeah, he hasn't told her that story, has he?
No, she is not aware that that happened last year. I think maybe she sort of like gotta do something to salvage this. But like it's been a year since we met. So that's kind of cool.
And he just sort of blinks at that and then looks back at her. You're right. Goodness, time does fly. Which means it's been a year since we've been in Toontown. It's amazing how much you can get used to a place and not be used to it at all at the same time.
Yeah. The time goes so fast, but then you look back and wonder how little has changed.
Yeah, I would agree. And he's going to sort of stop and then look around at the room and sort of take stock of it. Is this where you live?
Well, this is where I grew up, but no, I've been traveling still. I've got a small place in Toontown that I've been renting for a little bit with the performance stuff, but yeah, would you like me to show you around?
And he smiles and nods. I'd like that.
She definitely gets that sort of bouncy sort of excitement, and probably takes Chifley's hand and like and this is my room from when I was growing up, and this is the kitchen, and this is the lounge room, and the that thing on the wall there, that's from, and just the just excited, this is everything.
Chip's gonna follow along behind and make the appropriate noises of recognition and oh yes, that's very nice. But he's gonna be just sort of smiling a little bit. has it been a while since you've had a friend over?
Would you like to roll insight?
I would love to roll insight. What's your insight again, Chif? It's been a while since I've played you. Oh, yeah. Good. 11. It's not his best.
There is definitely, I think with that you don't get enough of a read, but there is something, in Cassie's, like, she sort of pauses a little bit for slightly too long before she goes, yeah, and just continues.
Oh, that was deflection. Oh, dear, dear. Now, don't remember. Has Cassie ever told Chifley her age?
I don't
recall.
know.
Okay. Okay, in that case, because neither of us remember, I'm going to assume that she hasn't done, and he's going to now ask.
Fair enough.
Cassie, I know you don't mind my asking this, but how old are you?
Oh, 19. I turned 19 a few months ago.
There you go. I thought we were similar ages, but I didn't realize we were the same age.
Oh, you're the... That's cool.
And she definitely is doing a bit of a beam.
I turned 20 in April. Still not sure how that happened, but here we are.
Yeah, it's weird. Definitely a lot of people think I'm younger than I am. Annoying.
Well, there's some merit to it, I suppose. But it's good to keep that enthusiasm. I can't see it being a detriment.
Yeah, I like to remain positive. I think it's good.
When you're able to, it's definitely worth holding on to.
Should I roll an insight?
I mean, you're definitely welcome to.
Alright, well, Cassie has a cool item which allows her to roll at advantage on insights.
Nice!
And it would help if I had the right character sheet.
Wow. Damn.
Wow, okay, I don't think I needed that advantage.
Yeah, but like a 21 and a 19, those are some damn good scores. Okay. So it's probably something that Cassie has sort of noticed about Chifley every time that they've interacted, that he kind of has this, always has this slight hint of melancholy about him, and he's obviously thinking about something that is bringing him down a smidge. Like, he's almost jealous of her ability to stay positive, and he's not so much himself.
Yeah, to be honest, that's probably not something Cassie's unfamiliar with in her look, which might be why she's able to recognize it.
Yeah.
So I think she just gives a little bit of a sad smile, but
I like to try and stay positive enough for more than one person.
He smiles at that. I can understand that. Missy is the same. She is always poking me, going, I'm going to be happy for the both of us.
She's a good kid. She sees a lot more than people probably give her credit for.
Yeah. No, she definitely does do that. She might not be the most tactful person, but she listens and she sees a lot.
Younger siblings do that.
Oh, you have one?
I am one.
Oh. Oh. I'm the oldest, so I don't know what it's like to be a younger sibling, so I'll have to take your word for it.
And I'll have to take your word for what it's like to be an older sibling.
Well, what's the gap between you and your older sibling?
I think about 8 or 9 years, something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. There's a, what is it, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14-year gap between us, so we're a little too far apart to be friends, I guess. Especially now that I have to be her dad as well as her brother.
Must be hard.
It is. But it is what it is. But he kind of gives his head a shake and just rubs his face a little bit like he's trying to go, okay, nope, we're not bringing that up, nope.
Fair. I think Cassie will probably maybe just with a parting.
If it makes you feel any better, I don't think that'll change how she sees you. Take it from a younger sibling.
And I think she'll continue the tour.
That is going to make him smile a little bit. But he has no verbal response.
Fair.
I just like to picture off in they're having this little heartfelt little moment, and then there's still from the kitchen every now and then there's a like bang crash clatter clatter clatter.
Yeah. I pictured Dorian being the sort to encourage sort of messy play with the stuff, the food and stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And she's probably only doing things like mixing that or making a drink or something like that, because I imagine he would have got most of it done before they rocked up. But like, and she also doesn't want to get her new dress dirty because she has to take off her coat and do the nice little twirl so everyone can see her new dress. But like, she's also incapable of containing her enthusiasm like at any point.
Yeah. He definitely wouldn't let her do anything with the hot food or the knives. But we'll be like, oh, do you want to get fetch me that and the drinks in the fridge, and we need this this garnish. Do you think you can have the extra special responsibility of finding the perfect the perfect one?
Yes, perfect sprig of parsley from the
yeah, exactly.
From the bunch. Yeah, absolutely. But she's having a great time. And she's just gonna, have everything, set the table. She's good at doing that. She's very good at setting the table.
Oh yes, definitely. It was like, don't forget the napkins and the cutlery are in that drawer, and let me know if you need the step ladder or
I think the only thing
the step.
Yeah. I think the only thing she's going to be sort of a little confused is like, you've got napkins? She's like never been to like a formal sit down dinner before. And have napkins.
You bring them out for the very special occasions.
Oh, cool. Okay. off she goes. She doesn't need more explanation there. Oh, dear.
No. Yeah, he's probably watching, like half keeping an eye on her and half keeping an eye on the food with a pretty fond expression.
Yeah, that's probably the amount of enthusiasm that he's seen at least twice, eh?
Yeah.
Oh dear, oh dear. So Cassie and Chifley gonna end their tour in the kitchen?
Probably.
So I think after they've looked around the house and they rock up at the door and Chifley just sort of leans in and, okay, not a disaster area. Good. The man is good at what he does. And he's just gonna give Dorian a bit of a wave. It's nice to see you.
Hey, kiddo, it's good to see you too.
He's gonna just smile at that. Thank you for inviting us. Missy's been very excited to come back again.
I love having her. It's been a while since I've had little ones around the house. Keeps me on my toes.
She's very good at that. I heard that! And what's your point? I heard it. And Trixie just sort of shakes his head and pinches the bridge of his nose a little bit. It's just like, oh no, you're turning into a smartass. Great.
I think Dorian's definitely laughing at that little exchange.
Oh dear. I think at this point, Missy is going to remember that she's wearing her new dress. She's going to take off her coat and go over to Cassie and go, Cassie, look, I got a new dress. And do a little twirl.
It's so pretty. Did you get it for Animus?
Chifley bought it for me. Isn't it pretty? It's got ruffles and it's got this little lacy bit here at the front. And when I twirl, it goes whoosh. And she twirls and it indeed does go whoosh.
That's so cool. You should do it again.
Okay. Whoosh. And she actually says whoosh when she spins around. And it does, the nice little. There is a word for what I'm seeing in my brain, but the word is not coming out. Yeah, like when the skirts kind of do they go up and do the nice little wave as you spin. Yeah, that.
I think Cassie joins her in doing little twirls, though hers are definitely more.
Cassie's in a mini skirt, isn't she?
I think she's got a little bit of a longer one on because it's
cold. Yeah.
So it does. She's not got the poofy skirt at the moment. She's got one that sort of sits a little bit more flat, so it does do that twirl.
Missy's gonna clap. It's not as good as your dance dress, but it's still got a lot of ruffles on it.
Well, I think it's gorgeous, and it suits you very much.
If she were Ghiblian in any capacity, she would be doing the little floof and the little sparkles, but she's dang close.
I think Cassie might get Missy up like, so how was your Animus? Did you get anything exciting? What did you do? Sort of thing. You know how you do.
And she's going to go through everything in excruciating detail. But she got the dress from Chifley, and then they had this party at school, and then they did that party at school, and it's not a lot for a kid her age. Like normally, as far as Cassie's experience with this sort of thing anyway, there'd be all sorts of different family gatherings and this, that, and the other thing. But it seems like for the most part, Missy and Chifley spent Animus just the two of them.
That's honestly not too odd for Cassie. Hers were always very small growing up. But she's still glad that she seemed to have such a good time.
And Missy goes on to say, and this year we didn't have gingerbread, but Chifley made a special dinner that was so big I couldn't eat the whole thing. And I mean, it wasn't super great, but it was great. And Chifley's just sort of sitting there going, well, thanks.
I think Cassie is a little bit too polite to laugh out loud at that, but Dorian's definitely laughing at that from where he's listening around the kitchen.
Okay, Chifley's just sort of, when you're a bit embarrassed, you sort of shrink into your shoulders a little bit. He's doing that and he's blushing. He's like, I'm not a very good cook.
You have to start somewhere.
It was an attempt. Anyway, Missy really wanted to have dumplings, and well, I'm not very good at those, but I did my best.
They were perfect, Chifley. They were ugly, but they were perfect.
And he's just sort of, a hand comes to his face and he's just blushing.
Nothing beats food made with love.
I think I've heard that before.
Well, this is almost ready. So how about you guys get to the table and I'll bring the food out.
Okay.
Missy's gonna run off, and I imagine she has a chair that she normally sits in at the dining table.
Probably. Does she do the Cassie, you have to sit here, sort of like right next to me?
Yes, absolutely. This is where you sit. I don't care if you normally sit on the other side. You sit next to me.
Yeah, I've had that one before with the you have to sit next to me.
Yeah, Chifley's just gonna sit at the next available one on her other side and leave a seat for Dorian. He's like, I know there's probably a protocol, but like I'm too tired to even remotely think about arguing with Missy at this point.
Fair enough. Yeah, and I think Dorian brings out the food, and I didn't actually think about what the meal would be. I guess I'm picturing maybe some sort of roast with all of the different vegetables like been done, and like
Nice.
roast chicken and like the really crispy potatoes and stuff like that.
God, the whole shebang.
Mm-hmm.
I should have eaten lunch before this. Damn, that makes me very hungry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Roast. Yes. Cool. Well, Missy's happy. She is going to eat an excess of potatoes. And gravy. Potatoes and gravy. Heck yes. And nothing that's green, even though it's her favorite color. She's like, yeah, peas. She's 6.
Yeah.
Thank goodness Oat likes peas.
Oh,
but
cute.
I digress immensely. Okay, great. Yeah, Chifley's quite happy to have a cooked by somebody else meal for a bit of a change. He tends to cook for them. They don't tend to eat out very much, and when they do, it's normally like cheap junk food kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not that he can't afford anything better. It's just like, why would you take a 5-year-old to a restaurant unless there was an event on? It's like, why would you subject yourself to that?
It's like, when they are going to be perfectly happy and probably enjoy more the cheap junk food, why would you take them to a restaurant?
Yeah, exactly.
Dorian actually does have proficiency in cooking utensils, so I'm actually imagining the food is very good.
Oh, sweet. Oh dear. Like, Dorian and Cassie are both welcome to roll an insight on both of the Fordes, actually.
Would you like to roll insight on Dorian in return?
Sure.
I think Cassie is probably pretty much an open book.
Yeah, alright, no worries. Well, I will do Chifley first. 21. Alright, good. That makes sense. That insight is the thing he's good at. And, my dear. Oh, that's actually not too bad for Missy. 14's actually not bad.
Alright, 16 for both Cassie and Dorian.
All right, beaut. Well, Missy is absolutely pleased. And she is, the way that she's eating is like, if you've eaten the same sorts of foods over and over again for a long while, when you get something really good and different, you tend to just absolutely shovel it in and hardly taste it. She's kind of doing that. Not to say that Chifley's not feeding her, but like, she's like, this is not the same thing we always eat. This is amazing. I'm going to eat until I make myself sick.
Yeah.
And on Chifley's part, there's this odd, almost nostalgic feeling about sitting down at a table with just more than, like, because at home they've only got a little breakfast table because there's only the two of them. So sitting down to a big decent meal with more than just him and Missy, it's unusual and almost nostalgic.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so what, there was a 14 and a 21. Okay. So I will give you a little bit of like, because it's sort of similar in that this table looks a lot larger than what should just be Cassie and Dorian, but um sorry, I just completely blanked on words for a moment.
Happens.
Yeah, like it's not a large table, probably one of those ones that, you know, sits 6 people when you've got it very full, but it's still bigger than what 2 people use.
Yep.
And yeah, Dorian as well has got like that. It's nice to have more people as well, sort of nostalgic look. But like much further in the past. But there is also, with that 21, I think Chifley does catch that Dorian does look like he can catch that Dorian is looking at him and Missy more often than he probably should be, and there's this sort of like hesitant, heavy look on his face.
Chifley's really listening to Dorian's theme and can you just sort of hear that little tense violin in the background or something like that.
Yeah.
And like, words, English, it's a thing. He's probably not going to say anything until like they've all, you know, for the most part, finished their meal, and Missy is very well satisfied and has managed to not get gravy on herself. She's very proud. And he's just sort of looking between Cassie and Dorian, and then just sort of looks at Dorian. Is there something the matter, Mr. Dorian?
You definitely get the like the whoops sort of like soundtrack which basically confirms but his his expression doesn't like change too much. It's just sort of a bit of a sad smile, and well, I will admit I had slightly ulterior motives to inviting you round tonight.
Chifley's just gonna frown at that, and Missy's gonna look up, and she's frowning too, but because she doesn't know what some of those words mean. And she's just gonna sort of lean over to Cassie, give a tug on Cassie's sleeve. Go,
what does that mean?
It ulterior means different or not what you think, and motives is Like things you want. So like if you ask Chifley to if you really want something from like Chifley, say, and you might go about it in a way that is not direct. You know, when you're not sure if he'll say yes, so you go about it in a way that might be that he's more likely to say yes. That's an ulterior motive.
Oh, so it's like a secret?
Kinda.
Yeah, she's sort of like looking between Missy and her dad, like, hello? This is the first time hearing of this. What? um uh and like there is definitely that look on her face of like, what are you up to? And he I think he's gonna say Cassie, uh did you wanna grab the animus gifts that we got for Chifley and Missy and give them to Missy? I'm sure she would be ecstatic with that.
Chifley's just
I
sort of gonna narrow his eyes ever so slightly. He's like, okay, getting Missy out of the room. Tension. I'm gonna roll Missy another insight. That's still pretty good. She's like,
I can help. Yeah, we could go get presents.
and she's just sort of doing that really awkward little. She's gone really tense, but like in faking enthusiasm, and sort of just looks at the the two guys in the room. Is like, yeah, presents.
oh dear, that was an insight for Cassie, and she has like definitely narrowing her eyes again, and like, but she's not going to deny Missy that, especially when Missy seems to have cottoned on. But there is definitely a look of you and I are going to have a word about this later.
Like Missy can hear the themes, and she's just like, okay, I think I need to get out of Dodge. All right, and she's just gonna sort of slide out of her chair and give Cassie a little bit of a tug, and she's. I'm actually gonna roll another insight for Chifley, see whether or not he realizes that she knows that something's up. I think he's probably too focused on Dorian with a 10. Like that's pretty rubbish for him. So he's just sort of focusing on Dorian. Is like, wait, what? And Missy's just like, oh dear, come on, we're gonna go. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, actually, you can also roll an insight on Cassie if you would like both Chifley and Missy.
All right, sounds good. 15 for Chif. 12 for Missy. Missy's doing really well. She's got a -1, so this is really good for her.
Okay, with the 12, yeah, Missy is definitely picking up on there's definitely an angry tone to her soundtrack music at the moment, but she is trying to smooth it over for Missy at the moment. Chifley with that 15, that I think that's enough to that angry tone's been there the entire time you've been here.
Ooh.
Definitely very, very subtle in the background, but it's been there.
Ooh. Okay. That's not encouraging. Like, I think he's going to just sort of glance over at Cassie when he twigs to that angry undertone to her theme, and then that frown is just going to get a little bit deeper, and then he's going to just look back at Dorian, but he's not going to say anything because he picked up immediately. There's, oh, okay, we're getting Missy out of the room. You've got something to tell me. What is this? Okay. So I'm not going to say anything until Missy's out of shot, because oh gosh.
Yeah, so I think Cassie does take Missy's Missy's hand and is like, yeah, come on. I think it's in this room. And we'll like take her. And we'll be like, oh, you're gonna love it. Like I spent so much time. Like it does actually smooth over some of the anger that's there when she's now focused on. Yeah, she actually did spend a lot of time trying to think of something nice to get Chif and Missy, and she's actually really excited for them to open her gifts.
Missy's just gonna go with Cassie, just glance over her shoulder as they leave. It's just like, ooh,
Okay, presents.
and then they're off. They're off. God. And Chifley's just gonna fold his hands on the tabletop in front of him once they're gone. An ulterior motive. It's a very concerning turn of phrase.
Sorry, I'd not planned on bringing it up just yet. Give me. And I'm gonna roll hammer space for him. Yep.
Cool.
All right. And he's gonna pull out a piece of well, probably a few like official looking like document sort of thing, and sort of like shifted over towards Chifley.
Chifley's going to frown and unfold his hands and just sort of pick up the papers and start leafing through them. And Dorian doesn't have to roll an insight, really, to sort of feel Chif's mood change. And yeah, as he's reading these, he doesn't move and his expression doesn't change, but there is a quietness that falls over his theme, and it goes really quite dull, almost. Where did you get this?
It was sent to me as the closest living relative that they could find.
Jeff frowns at that. But this isn't... Mr. Dorian, this is a notification of death.
I know.
And Chif kind of goes tense a little and then forces himself to relax. I had suspected that he was gone, but I was holding on to this tiniest thread of hope for Missy's sake. But he would have said something, come home, if he was still alive. But you're related to our father.
Yeah. Just give me a sec because I need to pull up my notes of this because... Okay, cool. I was just like, I have these names written down. But yeah, here goes. Mitchell, your father, he was my cousin.
So, you're... Is that why Missy always got on with you so well? You're... I suppose that roundabout way makes you our uncle. Are you from the score? How have we never met before?
Yes, I left there a long time ago. I've been back a few times for important family events, but not for a Not since you've been born.
20 years is a long time. Why wouldn't you come back?
You're welcome to roll insight.
Okay. No, Chip's upset. That's a nat 1. I mean, it's still an 8, but nat 1. Chip's upset.
Family troubles in things from in my own life that made me too busy to go back, and then time gets away from you.
Yeah, I guess it does. I'm gonna have to tell Missy. I can't let her think that he's still alive.
I know. But this is why I wanted to. I felt like you needed the time to take it in yourself.
Well, from what it says here, we never would have found him anyway. We walked their last tour route, and we should have found something, but we didn't. And some part of me knew we wouldn't see him again.
I'm sorry. I know it's not easy to lose someone so close to you. I was hoping to find more information before I brought this to you, but couldn't. You needed to know.
Well, the only bright side to this is he's not gonna come home for Mother being away. Because that's the both of them now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll another hammer space. Yep. Just
Close, but we're good.
pulls out another one with another official looking form with the I figured that might be the case, and slides that one over, and that one's custody of the well Chifley is of age, but yeah, of Missy.
Ooh. You wanna roll an insight?
Sure. Oh no, that's not good.
That ain't good. That's an 8. So like there is that little bit of tension when Chif looks at this other document, but beyond that, Dorian can't really tell what the nuance is of that bit of tension. No. That does make sense that they would assume he would take custody of her. I mean, I'm not really a suitable parent, but
You have done the job that you could for the last year. And I don't want you to think that you haven't done it. You've done an amazing job with what you've had to go on, Chif. And I will not stand in the way between the two of you. But you're so young, and it's such a large responsibility, and I want to help.
I need it. I can't deny that. I can't keep up with her.
It is hard to be a single parent. And I was not your age when I became one.
Chifley's just he's staring at the paperwork that Dorian's put in front of him, but it's like he's not really looking at it, it just happens to be in front of him, kind of thing. And he sighs and his shoulders droop a bit. I love her, and I don't want to lose her as well, but she deserves better than what I can give.
Well, in that case, I would never get in the way between the two of you. I would never want to separate you. I know how much you guys mean to each other. But how would you feel about having a old man in your life?
Chifley blinks, and then he just sort of looks up, and like he's still quite obviously upset, but he now looks a little bit confused.
I have no reason to stay in Happiest Place anymore. All of my family has left it.
Blink, blink. You would move to Toontown. Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, I mean, I've got family there.
Do another insight.
Okay.
Come on, Dorian, you can do it. I believe in you, man.
Oh no, that's a nat one.
I jinxed it, didn't I? Oh, heck. Okay, well, with a whopping not much, Chif's, yep, he sure is sitting there.
maybe Chifley would like to roll inside on Dorian.
Sure. Chif's still upset. That's a 9.
Yeah, I think maybe the only thing you get is that there is a little bit of a nervousness to his soundtrack right now.
Yeah. I think Chif's gonna take a moment and then look over his shoulder at the door that Cassie and Missy disappeared into, and then look back at the paperwork, and then look back at Dorian. I won't argue if that's what you want to do, and Missy is very fond of you. But I couldn't ask you to move. That's hard enough when we did it. You have so much history in this house.
History doesn't mean as much as family. That was a hard lesson I had to learn. I want to do this. I've been thinking about it for a while, ever since I got that. I just wasn't sure whether you would want me.
If you were our father's family, then you're our family, and Missy would be delighted to learn that. Any help that you're willing to give, I'll accept. It might take a bit of practice to getting around to calling you Uncle Dorian instead, though.
Well, I don't mind. Take as much time as you need, and feel free to call me whatever you want. These sort of things, labels only go so far.
Chifley nods at that, and he starts rubbing at his face a little bit. He's crying. You don't have to roll insight for that. He's crying a little bit. For a few different reasons, you think.
I think making very deliberate movements so Chifley can basically refuse if he wants to. I think Dorian's gonna come round and give him a hug.
He's not going to resist. Yeah, he's just sort of gonna lean into Dorian a little bit. He's not gonna try and hug him back or anything, but he's just gonna sit there, and he's processing. There's a lot to process.
Yeah. I think, Dorian's just trying to give him the time to, get everything out.
He's not sobbing kind of crying. It's very quiet, and it's just the tears are coming down his face, and Dorian can hear that minor key in his theme, and he's trying his hardest to put on a brave face. But you're welcome to roll an insight now as well, if you like.
Come on, Dorian, you can do better than this. It's
13.
definitely the best one so far.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Actually, you know what? Because it's quiet and he's really paying attention to Chifley, I'll give him advantage.
Okay. Nice.
Hey!
Oh, there we go.
Nice. 18. All right, great. So, Dorian has had to break bad news before. And there is the way that Chifley's theme sounds, and the way that he looks, and the way that he's sort of leaning into Dorian in that kind of my body now weighs 10 tons kind of way. But he can kind of get this feeling that part of the reason why Chifley's not saying anything at this point is that he can't.
Yeah. I think Dorian's not gonna comment on that. Just the shoulder squeeze, and then I think he is going to get up, and I think gonna make some cups of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Just the something to give Chifley something to hold on to, and how the tea, it gives you something to hold on to and to think
focus on, yeah.
To Yeah, and also you have tea in your hands, therefore you're not going anywhere until it's finished.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, while Dorian's doing that, I'm going to roll a hammer space for Chifley. Yep, so by the time he comes back with the tea, Chifley's pulled out a little notebook and pen set and has just put it on the tabletop. And he's still just sort of sitting there.
Yeah, I think, Dorian will pass him his cup, like, I'm not sure what you like, but, this is a blend I got, for Ruma, I think. Let me know what you think.
He's really going to take the cup in both hands and give it a little bit of a sip, and then he's going to flick open his notebook to a blank page and just write, "Thank you, it's nice," on the page.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I'm picturing the flavor as being like one of those like very aromatic and spicy blends that
Oh yeah,
just very warm.
like a lemon and ginger kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. So Chif's just gonna sort of sit there now and just sip at this tea and think. Although Dorian's probably not even sure that he's even doing that. He's just sort of there a little bit.
Yeah, I think Dorian's like taking stuff off the table and like basically just keeping half an eye on Chifley, but he's just there as well.
Yep. Oh dear. In any other circumstance, he would be really happy to find out that Dorian and Cassie are his uncle and cousin in a roundabout way. But coupled with that other information, he's kind of shutting down a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though part of him knew, he's still just, I was right, and that makes it worse.
Yeah. That tiny bit of hope that you'd been holding on to being like, no, this is actually the reality.
Yeah. What are the girls up to?
Let's see. Cassie's probably gotten the gifts down. I imagine they were hidden at the top of one of the cupboards. And so she's like flooded up to get them and pulled them down, and it's probably given Missy hers, which was the coloring books and pencils, like a vast array of like many different colors of pencils.
Oh, she'd be stoked for that. I'm going to roll what am I going to roll? I'm going to roll a Whis save for Missy to see whether or not she is successfully distracted by Cassie's doings. Yes, that's a 9. She had initially been like, oh, tense, but then, ooh, shiny presents. Great. She has forgotten that it was tense. Huzzah.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll a Whis save for Cassie to see how she's doing right now. Okay, yeah, no, she's doing pretty well. She's she's basically shoved aside her emotions in the face of needing to get entertain Missy at the moment, because that seems very serious what's happening in the kitchen right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Missy's just so excited, and she's gonna flick through all of the pages in her new coloring book, and she's like, "Oh, this is a nice one. I'm gonna save that one for last." And looking at all the different ones, and then she's gonna give Cassie a big hug. Thank you.
I'm glad you like it.
It's
I
great.
I went through so many stores to find the perfect one for you.
It's got fairies in it. Just like you.
Yeah. Chifley told me you'd been coloring in a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I really like fairies. I think your wings are really pretty.
I think my wings are really pretty too.
Did you always have them?
Yeah, as long as I can remember. I got them from my mom. She had wings like mine.
Oh, that's so cool. I don't look too much like my mom. I mean, she had freckles. And she pokes both of her cheeks and sort of does squish. She had freckles like what I've got. But that's kind of it. Like her hair was red. She had
Really?
long red hair. Not like me. Not like Chifley. Chifley's hair is blue, like our dad. He had blue hair.
Yeah. I take after my dad in my style.
And she does like the, her very chibi sort of look.
Mm.
But I got my mom's coloring, and my sister, she's the opposite. She looks a lot like my mom did. My mom was really pretty.
You have a
Like-
sister?
Yeah, I got an older sister.
Oh, that's cool. What's it like having a sister? I mean, Chifley's great, but he's a grump.
Well, she's also a bit of a grump, so maybe that's just an older sibling thing.
Huh. Yeah, maybe. Huh.
But she's real smart and very very dedicated and really really sweet, and we would do so much together when I was younger. She taught me to play the piano.
Ooh, that's cool. That's funny. That sounds I mean, Chif never taught me piano, but that sounds a lot like Chifley, too. Maybe that's an older sibling thing.
Maybe. My dad plays a lot of instruments. He taught me viola, but my mom knew piano, and then Chris knew piano from her, and she taught me.
That's cool. Chifley's doing some teaching of music, too. Not for me. I'm not really... I mean, I like music, but playing is hard. And it's different here. It's not super important to know how to do music here. It's just kind of good in a way, because I was always bad at it. Other kids used to think I was weird. Now I'm weird in a different way. I guess I'm just weird.
You and I can be weird together.
Yeah!
And I think she will boop Missy's nose.
That's okay. I don't mind being a weird kid.
Yeah. Neither Chris or I were really big into learning instruments. I know a few, but I always loved dancing more. And Chris was never interested in any of that stuff. She always liked books more than music.
Chifley used to be. I think he had a lot of instruments in his old room, but I never saw him play them. Mom loved music, though. She would play lots of instruments. I've got her old viola. I brought it with me when we left home. But and Dad liked to play the harmonica and the drums and Dad liked to play lots of things.
My mom loved music too. I think that's why she liked Dad so much. Was she loved his music, and she was never as good at it, but she just loved it so much. She was actually pretty bad at most of it, but she still loved to try.
That's the important bit. That's what Mom used to say to me, too. I think that your dad and my dad would get along real well.
Yeah, I think they would.
We should go take Chifley his present. I want to know what's in it.
Yeah, we should. Let's have a look, see if they're done yet.
I think it's at that point that when they get to the kitchen door, Missy's gonna remember it was tense. It's like,
I hope everything's okay.
It will be. These things, they take time sometimes, but it will be.
Missy is going to blink. She does not. She understands all those words, but does not understand what Cassie's talking about. Oh dear. And Chif's still just sitting there with his tea when they come into the kitchen. And I'm going to say that Missy is carrying Chifley's present for him.
Chifley, look, you got a present!
And he's just going to look at her and reach a hand out and pet her hair a little bit.
No.
And then he's... yeah. No, sorry, you go.
I think I'm going to roll an insight for Cassie, see if she can pick up on the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. $16's pretty good.
Yeah, okay. So probably not enough to figure out what happened, but enough to know that they're okay to be back in here and that it was not great.
Yeah, like, she can definitely feel that tension. Like, she can't hear the themes, I don't think. But she can see that Chif's visibly upset, but he's kind of in that dull phase of being upset. But, like, his eyes are a little bit red and his cheeks are a little bit wet. And he's got that notebook out next to him. And he's just sort of he's given Missy a little bit of a pat on the hair and then is just sort of back to staring at his tea.
I think, I think Cassie's more going to essentially just, I guess, back up Missy with the, help her with the present sort of thing, but not, like, push Chifley at all.
I'm going to do a perception for Missy.
Essentially, she's just trying to help make things seem as normal as possible.
Yeah, it's an 11. Missy is too short to have noticed the notebook. But Cassie is welcome to attempt to notice the notebook. Yeah, if she likes.
Yeah, okay. Perception?
Mm-hmm. Guess not.
I want to say that part of me wants to say she's also too short to notice the notebook, but I think more is she's more focused on making sure that Chip's present doesn't fall out of Missy's hands in her waving.
Yep, no worries. And Chip will, he gives Missy this little pat and smile and pull it over, and he'll look up at Cassie and he'll give a smile, like a grateful smile, but he doesn't say anything. And he just sort of gives his face another wipe with the heel of his hand, and then he'll carefully unwrap the present.
Yeah. I forgot to mention that that Missy also got a basically an Animus sweater from Dorian in the gifts as well.
Oh, nice.
In green.
She is going to be wearing it.
And Chifley will have a blue one, and some yeah, it's a odd collection of sheet music from Cassie's travels around Inkwell.
Cool.
Yeah, and she sort of shuffles a little bit and goes, I know you like music. I thought you would find these cool. I got them when I've been traveling.
He does smile a little bit broader, and you don't have to roll an insight or anything. You can kind of see he's sort of giving little tiny little bobs of his head, like he's playing reading the music and playing it in his head. And he reaches back over to his notebook and he just writes, "Thank you, that's very thoughtful," and then turns the book around and holds it up.
Yeah, she will definitely smile. It's not as genuine as it normally is. It's like 90% of the way there, but there is still a little bit of wariness and like she's just watching everything, like you know.
And Missy is going to notice the notebook when he holds it up, and she's just going to frown very deeply.
Chifley, is your voice broken again?
And Chif's just going to sort of wince and look away.
I think I want to say that Dorian's come back at this point, and I don't know, maybe ruffled Missy's hair is like, "Hey, Munchkin, like the gifts?"
Yeah, they're really nice. I like my new sweater. Thank you.
It fits real good. And she sort of grabs the bottom hem and holds it out, and she gives this big smile, but then she sort of lets it drop, and she looks over at Chifley.
Chifley's voice is broken. Did something bad happen?
No, I think he's gonna kneel down, and give him some time. It was some not so great news I had to give him.
That's just going to make her frown even more, and she doesn't know what the bad news was, but she's very empathetic, so she's looking upset because Chifley's upset.
Yeah, I think God, I'm just trying to think of what he would say. Like
just in the interest of me not having to try and be a distraught 6-year-old. and also in the interest as if it's been an hour and a half. I think we could probably sort of have Dorian tell her off screen. Maybe give Chif some time and then just sort of gently give it to Missy the same similar way.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, I wasn't actually thinking he was going to say anything to her just yet, because that'd be something he'd want to talk to Chifley about. But I think maybe what he says is something along the lines of, but I think having you here right now with him and being your wonderful, genuine self will be enough to help in the short term.
No. She still looks a little upset, but suddenly very determined. And she's going to just go over to Chifley and just sort of hug him around his waist. And she's not going to say anything, she's just going to hug. And Chif just puts her hand on her hair and doesn't say anything.
Yeah. I don't really have much more to add.
Yeah, no, that's it, really. It's a somber sort of moment, but talks like this often are.
Yeah, I definitely think there's going to be more that happens off screen. Because for one, both Missy and Cassie kind of need some of that knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cassie's definitely not dropped it just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, maybe just enjoying dessert, and then I imagine that Dorian would have like suggested they stay over for the night with the dinner invitation.
Mm.
Um,
Chifley will
and
definitely be accepting that now that he is emotionally distraught. Like,
and
no,
then
I don't think we want to be alone tonight.
yeah, and then just sorting out of what comes next.
Mm. The nitty-gritty paperworky part of the whole process.
Yeah. I'd like to imagine that Dorian started some of that process, but didn't want to, like, basically got to the point where he couldn't go any further without talking to Chif and Missy about it.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. Oh dear. Well, that was some lore.
This was so much fun.
It was. Chifley is so emotional sometimes. This is the second time recently he's made me cry. God dang. Similar reasons, actually. Dear, oh dear. Oh well. They'll be alright.
Yeah. Thank you for including me in your schemes.
Thank you. It's been great. Oh, thank you everyone for listening. I hope I didn't make too many people cry. I know I made myself cry, but you know, I was kind of expecting that. But yeah, I guess this is where we sign off. Thank you for listening, everybody. Thank you for playing with me, Kendall.
Oh, thank you so much. This was so much fun. I was so excited to do this, and I think it turned out really, really good.
Yep. They're family.
They're family.
Oh dear, oh dear. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and stop my recording. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.